I'm Al, known as Personalbest. I'm just a person who's called Al, who's trying his best to improve his and hopefully other people's physical and mental health. Today I want to talk about things I've heard about runners, running and mindsets that I don't quite necessarily agree with. So here's my spin on them. So here are some of the so-called facts that I've heard that makes me angry, or makes my face go that last one especially. So let me tell you what I think of these phrases, and if you then hear them, you can still make them work for you. Here we go. Comparison is the thief of joy. Is it? But we all compare, don't we? Otherwise, how do you measure progress? There is an argument to not compare yourself to others in running or in life. But what about this? Why don't you look at it as comparing to be inspired? They are doing amazing things. Why can't I? What are they doing that I can't? What should I be doing? Look up to those who are doing more, going further, lifting more, going faster, going further. Don't look at them in a negative way. Think, what are they doing? How do I emulate that? I wouldn't be like that. Why not? Comparison with yourself. Now, if you've ever done a park run, you'll have heard the term, it's not a race. I 100% disagree. Yes, it is. It is a race, just not with anyone else. It's just a race between you and you. You want to be able to measure how well you're doing. So you don't have to do it all the time, but at some running events and parkrun, go for it. Measure how far you've come. It's a race against yourself. What's the point in training if you can't measure progress? Comparison is a good thing. I'm not saying every racing event or parkrun is a race. It's not about to say, you know what, I feel good and I want to test myself. I'm going to compare. I want to test myself against myself. So comparison is the thief of joy, but it's coming from a place of love. To not be too hard on yourself. But you can compare if it's to make a better version of you. Look up, be inspired. Just don't keep looking up, you might get a crick in your neck. Have a glance by all means, want it, then go after it. And remember, parkrun is a race. It's just against you. Running gets easier the fitter you become. I've noticed runners tearing past me and they looked like they were floating and it all looked effortless. I want to be like that, I think to myself. But whilst I was running my race at my maximum effort, what I wasn't noticing was what was happening to the rest of the field. At running events, Hayley will inevitably find herself at the finish line waiting for me and sees a lot more of the race. Those at the front are also giving it everything, and once they're finished, they're in a battle not to be sick or fall over. Then I finish in the middle of the pack, missing what the leaders had looked like, and now I'm doing exactly the same. I'm a sweaty mess. But if I stay till the very last runners cross that finish line, I'll notice the same things again and again. It's deja vu. If you're giving it everything you've got, we, as runners, can all sympathise with the effect it's taking on you and how that actually feels. That's what's great about the running community. Someone's fast time could be somebody else's cool down time. Yet we all root for each other. Why? Because we are runners. We are impressed with effort. Running is fun. It's enjoyable, but if you push it to your absolute max on a run, runners of every ability know what you're going through because they've all run through it too. The pace may be different, but the effort is the same. Take parkrun for example. This is my parkrun. It's a lapped course, so I can be giving full on effort, and inevitably at one point I'll be lapped by faster runners and they tear past me. Now I look at that and think, it looks effortless to them. How on earth are they doing that? But I wasn't seeing the bigger picture. Right, cool. You can feel like you're going through hell and you're never ever doing this again. But you'll notice those who finish ahead of you are now clapping and supporting you to the finish line. And once you've picked yourself up off that floor, like me, after the finish line, and regained the ability to breathe, yeah, like me, you suddenly find how strangely enjoyable that was. And you find yourself on a level with every other runner around you. You're running your race. To challenge your personal best or personal record in any distance is something to celebrate. Running doesn't get easier, but you get faster. Yeah. Now this last one, if you hear it, you probably hear it a lot, and it's the most dangerous. It could make you stop running, never start running, or give up. None of those are good. And you've probably heard it a few times if you're a runner. Here it comes. Running is bad for your knees. A study in 2013 of 75,000 runners and 15,000 walkers found that runners were almost half as likely to develop arthritis as the walkers, and the more miles those runners did, the lower the risk. From the very beginning of my running journey up to present day, I still hear running is bad for your knees, and it's maddening. When you first start running, it's hard. I used to run a park run and then hobble home, and getting up the stairs was a problem. From an outsider, you'd say it's the high impact of the sport. Look, you can't even walk. But fast forward a couple of months, and after all of those hobblings had gone, why? Because I was building knee strength. I was strengthening leg muscles. Now I hobble after a half marathon, but that's the same. My body's not used to something. It's pushed just out of its comfort zone, and then there's a genuine reason why everything hurts. I'm not used to it. But the more halves I do, the more my body will understand what it is required, and it will build the necessary infrastructure. Running is bad for your knees is said by people who don't run. The type who are looking for the excuse to stay in their comfortable, unchallenging place. I've heard heavy smokers and heavily overweight people mention stories of very fit, slim, non-smokers who drop down dead during a marathon. If that's the evidence you're desperately searching for to keep your custom lifestyle going, then go for it. Convince yourself. The danger is if you're trying to convince someone who wants to better themselves. That's just unfair. So next time you hear somebody say to you, running is bad for your knees, don't try and change their opinion with facts. They're not interested. Let them stay content in their lane whilst you overtake in the running lane. Every step you take, pounding that pavement, makes you stronger, gets you fitter, and you're looking after your future self. So there you have it, just some of the phrases I hear in running which I don't quite agree with. If you've heard of any other comments that you don't quite agree with, let me know in the comments below. Compare those knees to make you run faster. Thanks for watching.
The park run's not a race though, is it?
Well, it is.
Thumbs up.
It is.
Like and subscribe, please.
Like and subscribe.